What's up, everyone? This is Thomas K.R. Stovall, and we are on the second part of our storytelling part of this campaign breakdown. And what I'm going to do is walk you through. Yesterday, I walked you through an overview of my 7-step process for creating compelling and vivid copy, whether it's an ad or an email or a social media post. And what I'm going to walk through today is each one of those 7 steps. I'm going to walk you through the details of how to create this compelling copy. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we will dive right in. Okay. So step one, when you are naming the article, post, email, or ad, again, we're going to walk through the details, and then I'm going to give you the whole picture in detail here. So you're going to clearly define the narrative, and you do this with a one-line overview / context for the story framed inside of either results, intrigue or curiosity, hope or pain. And some of the insights that I've had about this step one is we want to use a main title and subtitle format to call out the primary context of the event in the main title, followed by a short description of what the information will be covered, what the information will be that's going to be covered in the subtitle. We want to use a title with a results format when we know exactly who the customer avatar is, we've identified and articulated the exact pain that customer avatar is in, and when we've already produced specific objective results in this domain that immediately grab attention for people exactly like them. Or when we know in general who our customer avatar is, but we have not yet clearly identified and articulated the pain that our customer avatar is in. But what we have done is already produce specific objective results in that domain that immediately grab attention for people who we believe are similar to them in general. Okay, so that's when we use a results format. And we use a pain frame format when we're launching a new program to a new audience. We have no results yet, and we're not yet clear who our customer avatar is. Okay, so the title formats for both of these titles that you're going to see below, because I've given you examples here, are for the exact same online workshop, just with different results, just with different title formats used. So 2 different workshops here. One is here in blue, and the second one is here in yellow. So results format for a workshop, 5 steps to 5 figures, how I generated 55 grand, 55K in 7 days with 5 emails and no ads. Okay. And the reason this is 75 characters or less, that we focus on 75 characters or less, is if you wanted to make this title for an Eventbrite, for example, you always want to have it be 75 characters or less. So I found that is a good length for a title of something about 75 characters or less will have it fit when you're looking to do stuff like that. And on the other side, Pain Frame, same workshop, 6-figure artist club, 5 critical mistakes that keep artists from selling 6 figures online. Okay, results frame, pain frame. Now for a masterclass that's all about AI ghostwriting. Results format, AI ghostwriter. Use AI to co-author your first or next book in 10 days flat. Results, pain frame, unpublished expert, how to not die with your book held hostage in your brain. Okay, so this is the structure for a compelling title. Now let's get into steps 2 through 7, which are really all about the body copy. So when you're framing step 2, when you're framing the body copy, make a fundamental assertion is the first line. And specific to that particular domain, we make a clear and definitive statement of something that works, something that's broken, or a foundational belief that is easy for a reasonable person who is familiar with this topic to accept. Some of the insights about this. Number 1, the first line is incredibly important in our body copy. Interest in the topic and acceptance of the expertise of the writing is grounded in and is likely won or lost inside the first 10 words. So it's really important. That fundamental assertion, we wanted to stop people right in their tracks. And a couple examples. Too often important ideas fail to gain traction. Another example. So many subject matter experts talk about writing that book for years, but never get around to it. And that's also powerful when this is delivered in two parts, with part one framed as a question and part two of our fundamental assertion being the fundamental assertion itself. Example, who owns the customer experience? Many organizations believe that marketing does, okay, for a different type of talk. Now for this, we're going to carry this AI ghostwriting example all the way through all 7 steps so you guys can see it in practice. Where the F do I find time to actually write a book? Subject matter experts struggle with this question. Fundamental assertion. Now we want to keep this to 20 words or less. It's really, really critical for a fundamental assertion. 15 words or less is better. If we can do it in 10 words or less, that is absolutely ideal for the reader to quickly and clearly get a feel for the talk right away. Okay? Step 3. And this is when we are introducing the transformation, we want to do what I call creating the chasm. Frame the problem or opportunity that arises as a result of the context given in the fundamental assertion. Some insights about this. Here is where we outline the experience on the other side of the success, or the experience the customer has of the thing they perceive to be in the way of their success. This is powerful when bookended as a question rather than a statement. Example, how do we become so in tune with our customers that we have the power to predict them and make business decisions with clarity and confidence? Now, in the book writing example, how do you run your business and or manage your career being the expert and find the time to write a whole book about being the expert? Okay? Creating the chasm after we've done the fundamental assertion. Step 4, when we are mapping the transformation onto the prospect's personal experience, we want to do that by telling a story. And this should actually be telling a vivid story. So use a quick and compelling personal story to humanize the copy and make the ad or email or post relatable to the reader. Okay. So again, when you are mapping the transformation onto the prospect's personal experience, we want to tell a vivid story. And we use a quick and compelling personal story to humanize the copy and make the ad, email, post relatable to the reader. This is where the story format that I told you about, choosing from one of those 9 stories that I outlined on a previous day, and this breakdown really comes in. And these 9 categories, as I talked through before, are overcoming objections. Here's why I know this works. Personal story. I've made this mistake. Here's what happened. This is pain framed inside of hope. Aspirational. Personal before-after story that maps onto the lives of your prospects. This is hope framed inside of pain. Social proof. Before and after story of the client or customer with measurable outcome that maps onto the lives of prospects. Industry education. Let me tell you how things work in this industry and what you can expect. Different context is this you? That's what we're going to use for this story. And with the is this you? Here's what it looked like for me or my customers. Can you relate? Limited time, don't miss out. Ever thought you had plenty of time and then you missed the train? Transactional. Here's what you need to know about what's happening now and what's happening next. Take this action. And big announcement is, you remember the last big thing you were excited about? For me, it was buying the tickets to the blank. Every time I look at it on my calendar, I'm excited about that upcoming trip. Okay, so that's like a save the date type of thing. All right, so the example here is in the context of that book writing masterclass. For well over a decade now, I've heard countless times how writing a book can instantly amplify your authority and influence in your niche. I've watched on the sidelines as people less seasoned and less knowledgeable than me wrote a book then used it to seemingly come out of nowhere and quickly achieve national recognition as a result, while I remain the best kept secret. Can you relate? So this is powerful when it's ended with principles and action recap that calls attention to the specific principles you teach that were either implemented or ignored that clearly lead to the outcome outlined in the story. All right. So step 5 is when sharing the outcomes, present the solution. First, you do that by here's how it turned out. In vivid detail, you're going to share how the context, content, framework, and design of this solution provides readers with the new insights or the skills that they need to predictably solve the stated problem or deepen their ability to take advantage of the stated opportunity. So insights, this is powerful when the outcome is clearly defined versus generally described. And what I mean by that is describing an outcome is participants will learn how to apply insights from blank to their own organizations. That's describing an outcome. Defining an outcome is participants will learn specific strategies to blank, blank, and blank to produce blank in their organizations. Describing an outcome versus defining an outcome. Also, this seems to land more effectively when solution is tight and communicated in 1 to 2 sentences versus multiple sentences with extended descriptions. This is where we want to focus on keeping the copy tight. And an example of that here in the context of our book writing masterclass. In Alicia Little's upcoming masterclass, participants will create their own AI ghostwriter in real time and train it in minutes to write in their unique voice and writing style. And I change this around, their voice and unique writing style, doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, this process helps people like me who some people think I'm a good storyteller. I don't think I'm a particularly good storyteller at all. I'm very, when I'm writing or when I'm speaking a lot of times, unless I'm very conscious, I can go very left brain. But the format helps me to stay right brain and force myself into a context where I am writing and thinking in vivid story format. So I need structures like this. I need frameworks to allow me to pull the vivid stories out. Step 6, when framing the opportunity, we're going to set a boundary and we're going to state who actually isn't invited as our way of framing this opportunity. We create clear expectations around successful deliverability or usability of the solution by clearly sharing who it isn't for. A core tenet of attraction-based invitations, and this is what I specialize in, attraction-based marketing sales. A core tenet are that they're not for everyone. By design, if it's going to be something that people want, you got to kind of tell them, well, this may not be for you. Oh, wait a minute. Well, who is it for then? People are instantly attracted and interested when it's not just an open swinging door for any and everybody to walk in. So it's got to be for a very specific group of people who meet a very certain who meet a certain criteria. This is clear when who it isn't for is definitively stated, okay, versus communicated as suggestions. A definitive statement. Let me define that for you in this context. This is not a fit for you, and please don't go any further if you have or don't yet have blank. You are or are not a person who blank. You are or are not looking for blank. You are or are not struggling with blank. Okay, that would be an example of what a definitive statement might look like or sound like. A suggestion statement is, we suggest that participants consider the following before making a purchase. Well, suggestion statements aren't as compelling because just like they sound like, they're a suggestion. They're not you saying, listen, don't take this action unless you are this person looking for this thing or this person not looking for that thing. Example here. If you're looking to have AI take a random topic that you know little or nothing about, have it throw together a book with general information it compiles from the internet, slap your name on it, and then sell it, it's not what this program is about. And this isn't the masterclass for you. If that's you, please don't register for the masterclass. Very clear, definitive statement about the things that someone is doing that have it be not a fit. And finally, step 7, when you are outlining next steps, create your call to action as a conditional invitation. And that condition is what we described in step 6. Prompt your audience to take specific action, whether it's visiting your website, making a purchase, or signing up for your newsletter. Your CTA should be clear and compelling. Call to action should be clear and compelling. Insights. The CTA should ideally communicate 4 things clearly and concisely. Number 1 is the who. Clearly define the customer avatar, who this invitation is for. Number 2 is the outcome. Clearly define the outcome they're struggling to produce on their own. Number 3 is the pain. Clearly define the source of the struggle. Number 4 is the conditional invitation. Definitively state who the invitation is for, then clearly frame the invitation inside the context and specific parameters of the customer avatar description already given. This can be framed as a question or as a statement. Question example. Are you a subject matter expert with deep knowledge in your industry? That's the avatar. And you've been wanting to publish a book for years to expand your authority and influence? Outcome. But you struggled to find the time or even figure out where to start. If so, this masterclass invitation is for you. Conditional invitation. Now, let's do a statement example. If you're a subject matter expert with deep knowledge in your industry, avatar, and you've been wanting to publish a book for years to expand your authority and influence, outcome, but you struggle to find the time or even figure out where to start, okay? This masterclass invitation is for you, conditional invitation, okay? So y'all are seeing this in practice. This isn't like general suggestions for how you might think about something. This is a line for line framework to have a regular person like me produce compelling, vivid copy. All right, so now I'm gonna read this whole thing and y'all can watch on screen while I read it. I have outlined this so you can see which sentences apply to which actual steps in the process. And when I'm writing a copy for emails or for social media, I write 1 line at a time. And the reason I do that is because you can throw grammar rules and things like that, formatting out of the door when you're writing email copy, ad copy, social media copy, because our brains, particularly because everything you're writing is going to be consumed primarily on mobile first. You really want to write it in a way where it is super, super simple for a person to follow line by line exactly what's being said. It's easier to read. It flows through. When you've got blocks of text, which tends to happen even on text that's not that long, even 2 sentences begins to have a text look a little bit blocky and longer, and people tend to skim it and not be able to take it in quickly. So I write 1 sentence at a time because it's just much easier to take in that way. All right, so let's read this, and you guys can be the judge yourself on whether or not this copy is clear, compelling, and vivid. And as you say, that actually sounds interesting. AI ghostwriter. Use AI to co-author your first and next book in 10 days flat. Where the F do I find time to actually write a book? Subject matter experts struggle with this question. How do you run your business and or manage your career being the expert and find the time to write a whole book about being the expert? For well over a decade now, I've heard countless times how writing a book can instantly amplify your authority and influence in your niche. I've watched on the sidelines as people less seasoned and less knowledgeable than me wrote a book and used it to seemingly come out of nowhere and quickly achieve national recognition as a result, while I remain the best kept secret. Can you relate? In Alicia Little's upcoming masterclass, participants will create their own AI ghostwriter in real time and train it in minutes to write in their voice and unique writing style. If you're looking to have AI take a random topic that you know little or nothing about, have it throw together a book with general information it compiles from the internet, and slap your name on it, then sell it, that's not what this program is about, and this isn't the masterclass for you. If that's you, please don't register for the masterclass. If you're a subject matter expert with deep knowledge in your industry, and you've been wanting to publish a book for years to expand your authority and influence, but you've struggled to find the time or even figure out where to start, this masterclass invitation is for you. Okay, so that is the 7-step process that I personally use to create compelling copy